Hello, everybody. I'm Hans Kim. Um, I'm having a good time. I think it's funny that um, guns are now a subject of discussion. Everyone's talking about guns nowadays. Guns are like a cool way to express yourself and think about things and stuff. Um, I think that guns are dangerous. That's what makes them cool. Um, I like the look of a magazine. It's very functional. It does what it has to do. Um, and it's it's very effective. It's um scary and cool and awesome. So I love guns. I have a gun. I love guns a lot. I have one. I want to start shooting it. I haven't gone to the range yet. I want to go to the range soon. Hmm. I have a gun. Um, yeah, I mean, I think, oh shit. I think guns are, like a fun thing to do. Obviously, they have um, they're more harmful than they are good, I think. If you look at other countries that don't have guns, I don't think you need a gun to have a good country. I don't think people should be able to kill each other. I think overall, if and nobody can kill anybody, then less people get killed. How hard was the gun license test? I'm in Texas, baby. There is no gun license test. Yeah, you're probably just joking around. There's no gun license test. You can just get one, but a car, you have to go to driver's ed and stuff. So maybe we should treat guns like cars. Um, So what I had to do was I had to prove I was from Texas. All I need was a driver's license, but I wasn't gonna get a driver's license because then I would have to get another type of insurance. I'd have to get my license plate renewed to Texas license plates, um, and all that. So I didn't want to do that. So all I did was have a passport, and then I registered to vote and used my address so that they could send me a little postcard. And then if they had a little postcard, then I can prove I live in Texas, and that's all they need to sell me a gun. You have to be a resident of Texas for them to sell you a gun. Once you're a resident of Texas, it's pretty easy, but if you're not, then you'd have to go to a private seller or something. Uh, what's my thoughts on the Philippine elections? I think the Philippines have been fucked by America, and they're now just like a client state, and they're just trying to imitate their big brother, America. Is it the Philippines where like politicians get killed all the time? I think America established a bad precedence of not only do you have to be campaigning for your citizens, but you also have to be eyeing Big Brother and making sure you're doing what he wants. Because if you're not, then he's gonna murder you. We should just arm the third graders. Yeah, we should make schools into like banks. School uniform should be made out of Kevlar. Nice. It's like isn't it sad? Isn't that like a really sad society where you have to have your children go to school in a fortress because people just keep trying to shoot them and kill them? People just keep looking at our society and being like, this sucks. Think that the babies here need to die. And it's sad that so many people think that our society is horrible and kill the most precious things. But it's not like kids did anything to school shooters, especially not elementary school children, not at that age. I think they just go for the target that is the most eye-catching and the most fucked up thing that they could do, and this is what they choose. Like whatever we hold the most dear is what they're gonna shoot. So it doesn't matter if we arm the kindergartners. They're just gonna move on to the next thing, whatever else we like. They're gonna shoot up the Kentucky Derby or the stable or, a puppy farm or something that'll get our attention. The only reason they're doing it is because we like it and we love children. And so they're trying to hit us where it hurts. You should could have gone to a garbage sale or it's a garbage sale or a gun events. I think the thing about buying it in a store is that I like that I know where it's coming from, and it's like, hey, this is it's a thing. This is like a thing that is gonna, I think, the it's gonna work. It's not gonna be fucked up if I buy it at a gun store. So I just like the safety of it. If it's just some dude that had it, I don't know how he took care of it and all that. We should go back to virtual schools. Yeah, I mean, we could do a lot of things differently. They would just use bombs, which is sad in truth. I mean, I don't know if they'd use bombs. A lot of people don't know how to make bombs. Bombs are harder to do than guns. Guns are easy to kill people with. And bombs are like sort of like a nerdy way to kill people. You gotta like set it and then just do it, and then you're gonna be like, oh, nice, I set the thing off. Um, and then you just have to get off on the idea of killing people. But like, if you want to kill people and just be there and see it, then it's better to have a gun. It's more visceral and fits with whatever they're trying to do. Um, I think that I mean, I think that what we need to do is give young adolescent men a future, a society they can hope for and be a part of and be excited to be a part of. I think that we need to value people more and give them purpose and meaning in their life. And that if we just set them up and be like, hey, you're gonna have a hard childhood and hopefully you can be a cubicle worker or a fast food employee, then they're not really gonna value their life or the lives of others. But if we're like, hey, you could be an astronaut or a scientist or like a jetpack instructor, then they'll be like, oh, I'm excited about life. Let me not kill people and let's relax and have fun and have a good time in life because I have a future that I'm working towards. But if you have no future for them and they see no future in the society they live in, then they're not going to try very hard. And I think that we should treat people and value humanity higher. I mean, if we adults don't value humanity and just see them as cattle that we can make money off of, then kids are going to see people as little cattle that they can use to whatever they want, they can use to express themselves. And we just don't value humanity that much. So we're just treating people like shit. And so our kids treat people like shit. And then they go crazy and then they just take our lack of humanity to its logical conclusion and be like, well, if these people are worthless and are just McDonald's employees and little decimal points on a stock price, then like who cares if we kill them? It's like zero point 0.5 on the Dow exchange or whatever. It's just all numbers. People are just treated as numbers by our society and economy and adults. So if that's how we're treating people, then that's how our kids are going to treat people. We just don't value people very much. And that trickles down into the way we treat everybody. And that's how we treat our children. Our children feel that effect of treating people like numbers. They're moved around. Their moms are struggling to make ends meet. They're poor. Their dads are locked up in jail to make license plates for a non-violent drug offense. They're like, people are cheap. There's no reason to value humanity. I don't value myself. I don't value others. But if people are beautiful and precious and artistic and creative and beautiful and awesome, then it's going to be harder to kill people and see them as just nothing. Um, I just think that we don't treat people very well. And one of the side effects is that kids who don't know where our lack of empathy ends just takes it far to the extremes. Um, but this is like a version of what we all have is we have disdain for humanity and people, and we don't really treat each other very well. Um, so that's the adults, but the adults have like barriers to the most extreme conclusions that our lack of humanity gets to. That our lack of humanity would get us to if you were like a little kid. So we have like, oh, I hate people, but I'm not gonna shoot them. I'm not gonna, commit crimes and felonies against them, but I still hate them. I'm gonna legally treat them like shit. If we just taught these kids how to legally do the same thing they did with the gun, but do it economically, then they'd become really successful in business. Um, don't kill them. Why would you kill them when you can make them work for you for 7.25 an hour? You think killing them is evil? Try enslaving them and making them work for you and pay for your yacht. That's true evil. These fucking kids these days, so fucking lack of discipline. They don't know how to fucking really be evil. Like me. Hans, we don't treat the poor well. There is a line. Yes, the poor. They're not humans. We treat human beings well, but the poor, we treat those people badly. Don't you think about the fact that you could become poor at any moment because if you want to get rich, you have to take risks, and taking risks is looked at as cool. Um, yes, always be having confidence in yourself. You are one of the few that deserves the humanity and basic human rights. The other people who look like people, they're not actually people. They don't deserve it. They deserve what they're getting is sleeping out on the street. Only people who are worthy deserve to have basic human rights, and you are one of those. Ignore the nagging voice in the back of your head that tells you that you are the same as the people out on the streets. You are better than those people. Hans, can you talk about why you switched out of Mech E? You're so emotional, get mad, get even. Um, Yeah, I mean, I've been working on a bit, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's not working out that well. Um, so, hey Hans, how can I become worthy? Um, become an economic elite? Oh, I forgot I'll get up tomorrow, take risks, and be rich. Thanks, dude. Yeah, I mean, you gotta take risks to be rich, and the people that are rich, they are always taking risks, and they're always at the about to be poor. It's like it's in the back of their mind. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying all you have to do is take risks. I'm saying that people who are trying to make it in the economic game take risks, and they're always at risk of being poor. Therefore, they're always at risk of being treated inhumanely. That's in the back of their mind, and that fuels a sort of desperation in our society. I'm not saying just take a risk and you'll be rich. I'm saying that we're all precariously perched uh, on top of our economic position, and at any moment we can be toppled, and that affects the way we treat each other, and that affects the way we think about ourselves. As if we treat poor people badly, then we see ourselves as that. And one way to combat that is to be like, oh, this isn't the right way to treat people. So just because some people get treated horribly doesn't mean they deserve it. And I don't respect how this society determines who deserves human rights or not. And I believe all people deserve human rights regardless of their situation. And so I'm not going to internalize society's rubric for grading humans and come up with my own rubric and morality besides society's, because society is fucked up. What's wrong, Playboy? I like that. I should sell all my bored apes now. Speaking of, do you have a financial advisor yet? No. I'm 2/3 done my chicken pot pie, and I'm enlightened, and am enlightened. Need something to risk capital. Poor people take less risk because we're more afraid to lose what we have. Yeah, poor people take less risk. That's why they want to preserve the system. They're like, oh shit, this is really, really precarious for me right now. I just want to keep everything the same. Everyone don't move. We're just gonna keep the system how it is right now. And I'm gonna try to figure it out. Don't try to improve it. You're gonna make it worse by improving it. Let's just keep it the way it is. And the more time I can spend in it, the better I can get at the game, and I can make it. So the pecking order, Hans the goat. Asian people always have wise things to say. Ancient Chinese wisdom. Yeah, that's a good way to ignore Asian people. It's like, oh, so wise. Anyways, it's boring as fuck. Let's talk about something cool that makes my genitals tingle, because this Asian person is just making my soul feel weird. Um, but do some rich people were once poor? I mean, some rich people were poor, but most people in America were rich more than other countries, because there's this measure, uh, this number that you can look up called social mobility, and it turns out we're 27th in the world in social mobility, which means if you're in the bottom 25%, what are the chances that you get out of that? And we're 27th in that, which means like ideally, if you're born in the bottom 25%, there's a 25% you're in the top 25%, there's a 25% you're in this, you know, 75 to 50, there's 25% you remain the same, and 25%, 25 to 50. But America doesn't do a very good job of helping poor people get to where they're going. People are dumb, get used to it. Rich people looking to hide out in bunkers. I mean, people are dumb, but I think it's because that's how we were trained to be. We don't train people to be anything other than cubicle workers. And, like little cogs in the machine to be boring and stupid so that you don't challenge the system. The most important thing is that you don't challenge the system. Any additional benefit you can provide society is just extra. We don't need that. What we really want is just that you don't knock this over. So the first and foremost thing that we help people out with is so that they don't try to overthrow this shit that we got. This is good. Don't knock it over. Don't fucking try to change it. Keep it the way it is. And we train people to just fucking leave it alone. That's the most important thing. And then on top of that, they're like, okay, here's some education and 1 + 7 and all that. But that's really secondary to not knocking over the Jenga pieces in the way that it is. Um, it's better at making poor people. Is this Doug Rob's podcast or Hans Kim's? You guys coming back to Michigan anytime soon? By guys, do you mean just me? And by soon, do you mean in some day? It's on my link tree. Linktree.com/linktree/ DJ Hans Kim. It's on my Instagram and Twitter, DJ Hans Kim, Instagram and Twitter. Check it out. Check out the link if you want to go to a show in Detroit. I'll be there soon, next month, I think. Then I'm gonna go to Boston, and then I'm gonna go to Florida. I'm gonna go to Tacoma. I'm gonna go to Seattle. There's a lot of things happening. Why do we spend so much on military? Because that's how we got to where we are. You think we conquered countries and staged coups in Costa Rica just by sitting on our asses? We got to where we are in the dance by fucking conquering shit. If you are a hot girl that got into Hollywood by being hot, you don't just be like, well, done with that. Time to turn ugly now. You're like, I gotta keep this up. Keep injecting me and shit. I need to keep the hotness. You want to keep that thing that got you to the dance because you're like, well, if we did this to other people, what if someone did this to me? This is the natural way humans are. Humans are naturally aggressive and violent and taking shit over because that's what I wanted to do. So I guess everyone is like me. Everyone is exactly like me. There's no other way for people to be but the way that I am, and we should have a society that is designed for people like me, and make sure that we just check violent people and not encourage peaceful people. And then there's some dude in my comedy circles of huge creeps who verbally assaulted a host at the restaurant I work at. Should I call them out for it or act like it didn't happen? Depends on what they did, how bad it was, and why they did it, and who they are, and where they are in the comedy scene. I would just like go to an open mic and be like, this guy fucked a waitress or whatever. I think that old people are wrong. Palestine, Israel, what a great subject. Um, yeah, welcome to Orange County. Uh, will you be on West Coast, NorCal? No, not really. Let me pull up my calendario. Calendario. So I'm going to be in uh, Plano, San Antonio, Fort Worth in June. Coming up next week. Then I'm gonna go to stay here. Eddie, I might go to Fort Worth or Dallas on 11th. Then man, it's so grainy. I don't know why it's so grainy. Anyways, I don't think that's helping it. I might do this show, Josh Smith, Addison Improv in Addison, Texas. I think that's near Houston. I'm going to Detroit right here, 24, 25, and then Boston the 26th. And then I'm going to Las Vegas July 1st for the MGM Garden Arena. Then I'm gonna do Florida. This date might not happen. Let me make myself small. This date might not happen. These dates are happening. I'm going to Side Splitters in Tampa, Mike Lee, and then Madcaps in Florida. Look it up. I don't know really where they are. Then I'm gonna go to Tacoma, then Seattle, then Richland, Washington on August. I might go to Canada. But yeah, other than that, I got nothing going on. But let's go to Linktree. DJ Hans Kim. So Plano coming up, San Antonio, Fort Worth, and I'm doing the dating show. I like doing the dating show. It's fun. You should check it out. It's on YouTube, Fort Worth, and then Boston, Tampa, Florida, New Smyrna Beach. This is a month behind. I gotta change that. So there you go. There's the thing. Figure it out. I don't want to talk about them anymore. Have you ever tried the keto diet? I'm on the keto diet. I try not to eat a lot of shitty food. But hey, look at the thing is, I'm not a fucking athlete. I can cheat if I want to. So I cheat all the time, but generally I try to be on the keto diet. But I do eat Teddy Grahams and I do eat pizza or whatever. I don't really keep a strict diet because I'm pretty fit right now. For now, it's going good. Um, Addison is Dallas Fort Worth Metro. Shit, I'm going there again. I go to Dallas so many times. What is being the local road like compared to being in the road, on the road, like compared to being hitting local mics? It's lonelier, longer sets, artistically more fulfilling. You're performing for more Trump supporters, so if you're into that, that should be fun for you. I don't like it that much. I like performing in cities, which is cool because now I've been able to hit more cities and liberal places. So I like that. Liberal cities are harder to break into. It's easy to go anywhere and meet a Trump supporter and perform for a Trump supporting crowd. They're like sluts. They're everywhere. They'll just take any comedy they can get because they can't pick and choose like liberal cities can. Liberal cities can be like, I do not like this guy. Next. So it's harder to break in, but once you can, the money can be better, but also it's it could be worse too because it's so much more expensive. Um, what is your biggest regret? Uh, Sex is athletic though. Are you on steroids? No, I wish. I need to get stronger. I've been kettlebelling more and more, but I'm not as strong as I want to be. I have a neck injury that I'm constantly fucking with, so that's just sort of what I'm doing. I don't know where in Canada. I think near where Jared Nathan lives is where I'm supposed to go. But I might not go there. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a while. So what do you guys think about the politics? I think that overall the political landscape is fucked. Um, let's pick a better poster. Let's pick hi background, desktop background. So I like um Disney Channel. Um, I liked it a little before High School Musical. I was a little too old for High School Musical by the time uh I was out of high school. I was more into it. Um, I was more into Disney Channel when I was like really small, when I was smaller. But yeah, I mean, my sister, who's 6 to 8 years younger than me, she was really into Disney Channel and High School Musical, and I thought it was ridiculous, and I made fun of her for it, and I just thought it was a stupid thing to be into, and I feel bad for teasing her and bullying her about High School Musical and making fun of High School Musical. But I thought this is a good background because it's cheerful and happy and it's just good vibes and just chill and nothing too extreme. It's like the opposite of the gun. Hey, have you ever played golf with Tony? No. How's your crush? So I should say the same for the viewers' pleasures, but I don't think the viewers would like it if I stayed the same. I think being a dynamic and versatile person has its benefits, and I know like some people can only appreciate who a celebrity or a famous person or a person, an artist or a musician or something if they're exactly the same. But I think that that's not always a good answer because then you become stale and then you become lazy and you're just like I just have to be the exact same way I am right now. But then if you try to be too artistic and change all the time for no reason, then it can be bad because then you're like changing things that were actually good that you should have done, and you're just trying to be fancier and trying to do shit that doesn't need to be done, and you can just do the good stuff, but you're like, no, the good stuff is bad. I need to do bad stuff to be good. And you can be overly artistic, so I'm trying not to do that. But I'm gonna say less Asian jokes on stage. I think that I heard from some people that I respect about like their thoughts on that shit. So I do want to do less Asian jokes and less hacky Asian jokes. There'll be like a couple that I do, but I think there's a couple that are hacky that I can just cut out of my act altogether. So I'm excited to never do some of those jokes again. Millie Marks is the porn name of the wonderful comedian Molly Vivint, and this guy Vorax says, Hans, you should be in a Millie Marks video. I don't want to. I don't think I have to do porn yet. I don't know if I want people to see me in that way. But hey, why not, right? Radical honesty. Let's just show everyone everything. Who cares? Um, Hans, who are your inspirations in comedy? My inspiration in comedy is obviously Joe Rogan. When I was a wee little comedian, I would listen to a special and write it down word for word. I think that his ability to talk about what he's actually interested in and make it funny instead of like being a slave to like dick jokes and like improv games. He can talk about anything that he's actually interested in, make it funny. And I think that the subjects that he covers is so universal and like stuff that you would actually want to know about and talk about. So I think that's cool. And that's one of my inspirations. And plus the his ability to make a career doing only things that he likes to do, um, I think is amazing. And he's created a wonderful, lucrative life for himself outside of the normal paradigm, which I think is healthy because I think the normal paradigm makes you crazy and fucks you up. I am shook. I am no too shook, but I also respect how hard you shot me down. I have some reflecting to do. First, last, I agree, Korean here. You're funnier than Jimmy. Okay. Someone, I think he spelled his name wrong. Keep killing it. I mean, I might be funnier than some people, but I'm not as funny as other people, so I'd rather just not compare. I'd rather just exist and have other people exist and not have to battle anybody and lose or win. Instead, just I would like everyone to do what they're doing and have a great time doing it. It's not a zero-sum game, like you can have multiple people in the art space. You don't just need one person who's really good at volleyball. You can have multiple artists. And in fact, an artistic scene is helped by diversity of thought and opinion. And we should be encouraging of a more intellectually diverse group of comedians, but also it is important to do better and to compete and to excel and to not be lazy and be like, oh, that's good enough. I got a couple chuckles here. You should push yourself to be better and all that. Feel free to compare. It's okay to think about things. Yeah, I mean, I've thought about things. I mean, you should think about things that are helpful and productive. Sounds like communism. Hey Hans, how's your weekend been? It's been great. So communism is just whatever Americans think will help black people. If it helps black people, it's probably communism. Oh, you want to feed the poor or create less violent communities? That's communism. Um, tell us how you really feel, Austin. So I think it's great that communism was a thing in the past and now it's no more. I think that America started the Cold War because they didn't want to see another economic system exist. So they were like, only this one can be a thing. Anything else is a sin, and we will bomb you and have sanctions on you until you do what we want. I mean, there was no reason for America to start a war with Russia just because they tried a new economic system. And then a lot of the bad parts of communism uh, is actually a response to being economically attacked by the richest country and all of its richest allies in the world. And what we associate with communism is just a result of us attacking people. Oh, you don't want to do communism. That'll result in me hitting you in the face. I don't want to do communism because I don't want to hit myself in the face. Any country that tried communism got a visit from the CIA and was murdered and shit. So I don't think we can say that we really gave communism a shot. It's like we were trying to destroy it the whole time anyone did it, even in Guatemala. I mean, it must be frustrating if you're the CIA, no matter how many brown people you kill, Communism keeps popping up. The idea of people controlling their own resources instead of letting Exxon Valdez drive a fucking tanker through their coral reefs and pollute their sensitive biomes with an oil spill. That idea is very popular. Like maybe we should help the poor in our country and not give all our natural resources to a foreign company. No, you must let us rape you, or else you are a communist and you will be attacked. Um, it's affected, not a people powered any at one and one anyhow. If you could be great at any sport. So like yeah, people are like, yeah, communism, it's like you can't think what you want, you can't have bread and you have to work really hard and make weapons and shit. But a lot of that is because America was attacking the country in question. Like, yeah, you don't have bread because the economic powers in the world, Russia or America and France and England and Germany eventually are like keeping you in a poor state. They're not letting you trade with each other and they're fucking with you and like that you can't think what you want. That's what happens in wartime. When you're at war, like during World War II, you couldn't just go out into London and shine a flashlight, even though that's like a freedom that should be afforded to everyone, is the ability to do a rave outside. There were no raves in England, which is very unfree during the Battle of Britain because they were at war. And if you're at war with the greatest superpower in the world, you have to crack down on your citizens. So America would just attack a communist country and be like, look, they're so oppressive to their people. Yeah, because you're attacking them. Like they have to have all their ducks in a row. They can't have fucking infiltrators and spies sneaking in because if they're nice and relaxed and open to the people, you're gonna sneak a spy in there and shoot the fucking president, like you try to do in Cuba multiple times. And then they're like, "Oh, Cuba is so shitty. It's like there's no new cars there. Everything sucks." Yeah, because America is sanctioning them. It's like, how do you not see that? Like, how is it that hard to understand? Communism is great at physical comedy. Like when Kim Jong-un strapped his uncle to a post and turned him into red paste with an anti-aircraft gun. A lot of that is just American propaganda. Like a lot of this crazy shit that they say about North Korea, like how everyone in North Korea believes that Kim Jong-un doesn't shit. That's just like Americans trying to make Korea sound ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, North Korea isn't great. It's a small hermit kingdom that relied on the Soviet Union for everything, and the Soviet Union went bust. I mean, how well do you think South Korea would be doing if Russia nuked America and there was no more America anymore? They're a vassal state. Um, South Korea, that is. I'm an American right now, but yeah. I mean, North Korea is a sad little place, but at least it's not fucking El Salvador or some of America's closest allies. At least it's not northern Mexico. Um, so have your daughters born? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Have your daughters born? Come to Wichita, Kansas. I'd love to. Do they have a comedy club there? What is it like there? Do you have a lot of money you can give me? When are you in Houston next? I hope soon. If you can be great at any sport, which would it be and why? Probably ping pong so that I don't have to wear out my body too much. Probably something easy to do, like not football, not MMA. I mean, although the implications would be awesome, like I could beat anyone up, that'd be awesome. Uh, oh, Pepe is in El Salvador right now. How's El Salvador? Is it better than North Korea? But I love El Salvador. I know that MS-13 is from there, so don't want to talk too much shit. But I heard that there's a lot of them coming in the caravan across the border. People are like, why is there a caravan? What is a caravan? I think it's like people are like, like you want to do things together. Like we're a very social animal. So if a bunch of people decide, hey, we need to go to um, we need to go to America, and it's like a mass movement, then it's gonna be easier to do. And we do everything together. We don't just do specific things together. We do everything together. And so like we're social animals, so we're like, oh, we want to, this is not a big image. We want to go to America. They're all gonna do it together. Like if you were in that situation, would you rather do it alone or would you rather do it with other people? Why is this so tiny all the time? Is this El Salvador? El Salvador doesn't have large pictures. This is El Salvador. This mountain is something they're very proud of, apparently, because it's in everything I click. It always has this mountain in it, and they have a lake. So El Salvador is pretty cool. What's wrong with El Salvador? Military posted up in every corner. Is that a good thing? Is it? That's what we need in kindergarten is to make it more like El Salvador. We need the military in the kindergartens. We need fucking battalion per school. And then it could be like a shooting gallery. It'll be like fucking Fallujah in every high school. It's like an insurgency where you gotta win the hearts and minds. Are you still living the van life? Nope. Not living the van life. Hey, what's up, Hans? I just smoked some Han Solo burgers. Um, in Vicente is good. MS-13 hiding like rats right now. No lie. They have no signs to call 123 if people see any gangster. They have signs to call 123 if people see any gangsters. See, I think that's good because MS-13 is a little crazy, but these things will keep popping up because there's no money in the legit economy. So people are gonna fucking find a way to make it on their own without having to do the legit economy because the legit economy will pay you $7.25 an hour, probably even less in El Salvador. So as long as the legit economy is not helping people, then it's not gonna be a legitimate choice that people can make. So they're gonna have to resort to using the resource that is people um, to their benefit and be joining gangs. Gangs is like where you turn people into property and you start trying to mine people for whatever value they might have, which is sad because it's inefficient. Like a farmer has to farm and then he has to give some to the mobster. And that's how the mobster lives, is by fucking over the farmer. You need 100 farmers for one mobster, and they take a lot of it, and it's just not an efficient way to run an economy. Um, Instead, you should have faith in the system and not have people violently extorting each other, and everyone can focus on something. And instead of fucking each other and taking a percentage and making it less efficient of a society, you all do whatever you want to do and are good at, and then it makes the world a better place. And everyone is efficiently making things without having to sacrifice a percentage to a mobster who's going to protect you from other mobsters. It's a service that only exists because other people are doing it. Like if we all decided to stop being mobsters, there'd be no functional value to it. But the fact that other people have it means you have to have mobsters on your side. So it's just industry that arises when there's no legitimate option in the economy, and people just start trying to mine each other. How much shrooms should you take first time? Enough to have a good time. What do you think about the lizard people flying UFOs around? I mean, if they're lizard people, wouldn't they be terrestrial? They're from the Earth. What are the chances that lizards evolved on another planet? Very, very low. So they're probably from our planet, so they're not aliens. So there are beings on this planet that have more advanced technology than us. It's so bad. The past, thank goodness, people are feeling safe again and opening up stores in the small towns again. Yeah. I'm glad things are getting better in El Salvador. Hope America doesn't stage a coup there. Um, I was high. I don't think I'm high right now. But the mob protected the farmer. What does the farmer need protection from? Other mobsters. So the mob only exists because other mobsters exist. The ugly, honest truth is Northern Europeans and East Asians are the most productive people on Earth, and no amount of rainbow and butterflies is going to change that. Yeah, because everywhere else has been destroyed by colonialism. I mean, South America is still being colonized economically. I mean, look at how it started. Why does everyone speak Spanish there? Everyone was fucked so hard. Africa has been fucked so hard. Middle East has been ravaged with European wars. Uh, everywhere else has been fucked. That's the reason why Northern European and Asians are doing so good is because everywhere else is fucking fucked up and shit. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think if everyone was left alone and they had a good time of life, then I don't think Northern Europeans would be so far ahead because um, if they were just fuck ups and they could never get their shit together, then why would Europeans be so afraid that they are gonna get their shit together and stage coups in their countries all the time? Um, yeah, nothing else is on. I'm dominating the market right now. I don't want to go out. Yeah, I guess I don't have to go out if I don't want to. So, they have been 100 of wars in Europe and East Asia. Yeah, but we survived relatively intact. India got fucked. China got fucked. They're just getting their shit together. China got fucked by Japan and Britain. Can we get a peek of that kilotons merch? And will you have merch when you get to Boston? You buying crypto? What do you do for fun on Sunset? So, what do you guys think about the economy? Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, um, school shootings. What do you guys think about school shootings? I think that we need to have background checks, and I think we need to have a registry of guns. I think that we need to have psych evals and maybe classes like driver's ed for guns. I think just giving everyone a gun willy-nilly is going to lead to a lot of violence and death. And I think that we should have some barriers to entry for guns. And maybe we don't have to sell assault rifles. Um, I think that assault rifles are unnecessary for people to have. If you want to overthrow the government, do it already. Y'all haven't done it once with assault rifles. But I guess it makes our country more prickly. If we're ever to be invaded by another country, it'll be harder to take us over. There'll be a lot of insurgencies and a lot of fighting from wild country folk as they try to invade us. But who knows? Like, you never really know until it happens how a country's going to respond. Like, maybe we're going to get fucked really hard and fast, and we're not going to have time to stage a rebellion, and it'll be futile. There'll be no point in small arms fire. But yeah, I mean, is being prickly against occupying country, invading our lands, is that really worth the dead children and the violence and the threat of guns and always looking over your shoulder and always being like, oh, that guy might be able to kill me right now. Like, is it worth it to have that when the benefit of having assault rifles is that we can fight off an invading army? Like, how likely is it that there's an invading army that's gonna come? I mean, War of 1812 is the last time someone has invaded America and small arms helped. I mean, Pearl Harbor, good luck shooting the zeros with your AR-15. I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't be pleasant, but yeah, I mean, it's just not a good way to have a civilized society is have guns everywhere. And other countries prove that. I bought took me about a month. I'm glad I got this gun before all this shit went down. I have a gun and I will get a gun because if it's that easy to get a gun, why wouldn't I? I have to respond to the environment that I'm in instead of responding to an environment that I wish to create that isn't existing yet. If everyone has a gun, then I'm getting a gun. And plus, it's fun and it's cool to have. Gun licensing system, probably the most practical way to control psychos. But what would be the super expensive, but that would be super expensive to implement. Gun licensing, I mean, just have the DMV do it. That'll that'll de-incentivize people from wanting to shoot up the school if they have to go there and wait in line and take a ticket. I don't care about you, Hans, but when I see people with illegal arms to carry, I feel safer. What if when you see people with illegal arms that they're carrying, then do you feel safer? And also, that's a symptom of a sick society. If you need assault rifles and legal guns to keep it safe, then things are probably falling apart, and you're just trying to put a band-aid on it in the form of a gun. If you need a gun to keep law and order in your society, maybe something that you could do is feed the poor and make sure no one wants to kill your country by being a good country and not invading other people. I need my ARs because of Antifa and BLM showing up to people's homes and extorting them, not because of invading armies. Um, well, yeah, you could be like that couple in St. Louis who had their guns outside their house and they were yelling at the protesters. That's not a very tactical move, 'cause then you alert people to your presence and people don't like you and you give them incentive and mortars, bombs, those are things that people could implement use on you even if you have an assault rifle. But yeah, I mean, if you really think Antifa and BLM are marching up to your door and threatening you, then it's a sad country that you live in, and don't you want to fix it? You just want to threaten everyone with violence and keep yourself safe while the country goes to shit. Are we back? I think I'm back. Bulletproof the walls and doors, make every other electronics operated from central by a person like a prison. Voila. I think that if you make schools like prisons, it's a very sad state of affairs and very expensive. You think gun licensing is expensive? Try putting a fucking bulletproof everything in a school. You're probably joking, but instead of making our schools like good to withstand attacks, how about we stop creating people who want to attack children? It's like a very weird thing. Like people don't always want to attack schools and children. It's something that can be avoided. It's a very avoidable problem, and we should work towards finding the solutions to the very avoidable problem of children being shot by people instead of bulletproofing the doors. And I think one way to do it is to treat people better. Poor people need more money. I don't threaten anyone, but I will protect myself and family at any cost. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's good to protect your family and yourself at any cost, but I think it's bad to fantasize about that situation coming up and being like, oh, I just want that to happen so bad because I want to protect myself a lot. But yeah, I love protecting myself. It's something that I don't try to think about or try to fantasize about because I think if I don't do that, then I'll respond more authentically in the moment instead of being like, oh shit, this is the thing that I prepared for. I gotta fucking gear up and fucking do it the way that I wanted to do it. I just be like, oh shit, I'm in this situation. Let's get let's be object oriented. Let's achieve the the goals that I want to achieve. And then I won't be having this other thought of like all the other shit in my head, giving me emotional stress during an already stressful situation. Hans, have you ever considered military in your life? Yeah, I've considered military in my life. I've considered military when I was attacking the sovereign nation of El Salvador. I was like, I'm considering whether the military will try to stop me from fucking shit up. Should pharmaceutical ads be allowed? No, says DJ Albums. I don't think pharmaceutical ads should be allowed. I think the doctor should make the decision instead of a patient being like, "Oh, that sounds cool. Let me try it." It's not like a fucking Beanie Baby. It's not a fucking McFlurry. It's a fucking drug that if you let people just medicate themselves, I don't think that's very healthy. I think that's the failings of a medical healthcare system, and because our healthcare system sucks so much, we got to figure out our own fucking medication, and we're like, what do I have to take? Let me figure it out. I'm my own pharmacist. But if you had like doctors and readily accessible doctors, then people would be able to be like, oh, I need to go to my doctor and have him figure me out. An outside third party influence who's well trained and motivated and is a part of a society that respects and honors his contributions would be helpful. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Get some close quarter combat training if your weapon is for self-defense. I would love to. I would love to, be able to do John Wick shit and learn how to clear a room and yell, clear, room is clear. But I honestly don't think it's that useful. I think a better use of my time would be spent being a nice person, saying hello to everybody, shaking hands, not pissing people off, not fucking anybody's wife. And then I think that will help me live a very long life without having to learn how to shoot a gun inside. Because I want to be able to hear when I'm 74. I don't want to have ringing in my ears because I shot a gun inside a fucking stairwell. Um, where do you get your comedy ideas from? I get my comedy ideas from jokes.com. Also just living life and finding out what I'm interested in and thinking about it and thinking about the process of getting good at things or the process of learning new things and oh look at that quirk in the human experience that is relatable that everyone goes through when learning something or when confronted with something that they're not used to. Why don't I write a joke about that, about something that whatever. Have you ever been in a fist fight? Results? I was in a fist fight in New York City. I was getting off the subway. Some guy was standing there eating a burrito angrily, staring at everyone coming off the out of the subway stop. So I stared back at him. Uh, Not in a good mood, I guess. And I stared back at him and I was like, "What are you looking at?" I said, "Fuck you." And he threw his burritos at me and charged at me, without any sort of idea of what the fuck he was doing. So I just fucking I popped him twice. I gave him a little jab in the face, and I didn't really hit him hard. It was fucking weird. I didn't hit him hard. Um, and it just felt weird. It felt like I was touching some dude's face. It's like, oh, my fist just touched this guy's face. Like I want to touch my friend's face. I'm touching some random guy's face right now. Like I didn't want to touch his face. And then he started fucking doing some shit. So I grabbed both his arms and I fucking and I bested him in the fucking arm grabbing thing. And I like spun him around and didn't really know what to do with him. And then I walked away. But in the middle of the fight, he was like, "Oh, he's attacking me. He's attacking me. Back up. Whoa, back up." And then I would back up, and then he'd come at me, and then I'd go at him again. He'd be like, Someone look at this. He's attacking me." So it was like, this guy was a dumb fuck. 오차도르다. 코미디 팬으로서 너무 자랑스럽습니다. He says, as a comedy fan, I'm very proud. I'm very proud, he says in Korean. 저 스탠드업 진짜 좋아합니다. 킬톤이 한 5년째 챙겨 보고 있습니다. 크크. So he says, stand-up comedy, uh, 좋아. I like stand-up comedy. Kill Tony. I've been keeping up with for 5 years. Haha. Haha. LOL. I'm grappling the finally. Video or never happened. I didn't get video, unfortunately. I was just walking back to my home. I was in New York City, walking back to the creek in the cave. Got off 21st and Van Alst or Jackson or whatever. And this guy was just eating a burrito very angrily, staring at people, and I didn't like that, and so I fought him. I said "fuck you," and then he charged me. But what were you doing before comedy? I was failing in school. I was cheating. I just barely passed. I got a shitty internship. I mean, it was a great internship, but they didn't really trust me or give me any responsibilities. And the intern they had after me, they gave a lot of shit to. So I was like, what the fuck? What, did they just hate me? But obviously, they didn't think I was cut out for the stupid mechanical engineering world. And then I did a little startup company, lackluster performance, just trying to get by, not really motivated to help some guy create surgical tools, which were cool, but it's just not my thing. Um, 차도르. I don't know. 차도르. 도르. That's cool. Thank you for visiting. 차도르. I love you. I love Koreans. I love UFC. I would love to, hang out with you or something. 차도르. 차도르. But yeah, what was I talking about? Uh, oh yeah, and then I did the startup company, the surgical devices, and then I got fired from that for being a little pedantic little shit. And then I got to my parents' home in Seattle, and I started doing comedy, and have never stopped since. 9 years now, constantly open micing, and now stage shows. How old are you? Is 32. You ever been to Daegu, South Korea? I hear I lived there for a year. Amazing memories. Temperate, tempted to live in Korea or El Salvador for retirement. I don't know. I don't think I've been to Daegu. I've been to Seoul, obviously. I've been to Daejeon. I've been to Busan. I mean, I was only there for a day, and Busan is cool. How do people get the motivation to work a 9 to 5 for decades? Seems like a complete waste of my time. Well, here's the thing. It is a complete waste of your time. A 9 to 5 is just a place for your soul to die. But it's also useful in some scenarios. They do create apps and, create bridges and shit on that 9 to 5 schedule. I just think overall, um, I just don't think, yeah, that's the best way to spend your life. I think 9 to 5s have been hijacked by corporations to make money out of people, and if you sign up for a 9 to 5, you're getting cheated. You could set up your own company and get paid way better for your labor than a 9 to 5. I think 9 to 5s are bad in the typical corporate structure. I mean, you have to set up a work schedule somehow, but I think 9 to 5s are designed to milk as much labor out of someone for the least amount of money possible. And I don't think it's healthy. Thought process when developing jokes. This is my thought process when I'm developing jokes. I hope this is funny. Oh shit, this better be funny. If this isn't funny, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I know that I think this is funny, but you remember that one time you thought it was funny and it wasn't? You fucking suck. This better not suck like last time. Fucking figure your shit out. I'm in engineering school right now, barely passing, and spend most of my time watching comedy on YouTube. Hey, that's like me, except I was playing StarCraft 2. I also barely passed. I had a 2.6 or 2.7 GPA, grade point average, and I got out of it. Did not really have much luck with jobs and started comedy and started living my life the way I wanted to instead of shaping my life around a company and making money for them. I instead decided to live my life the way I wanted to and utilized my time and resources to make my life better instead of making some company more money. And I developed independence and confidence in myself without the whole structure of 9 to 5 corporate life, and I became resilient and able to pick and choose what I wanted to do with my life without fear of death or not surviving. And and I chose this life, which has almost zero 9 to 5 and zero corporations, and I'm having a great time. Dish the goods on Joe Rogan and watch your viewers go from 71 to 1,000. Haha, are you just on here killing time? Yeah, I mean, obviously you don't really respect what I'm doing here, but at least I'm uh I'm up and at 'em. It's I don't mind the low view counts. I am practicing and getting better, and I hope that one day that this will be a fun way to talk and get some ideas out and do everything. Do something creative. Were there any jokes that you thought were hilarious but no one found it funny? Yeah, a lot of them. 80% men aged 80 have prostate cancer. Hans, have you had Korean Texas BBQ fusion? Not yet. I would love to. Korean Texas BBQ fusion? That sounds amazing. Chad asking the hard-hitting questions. Are you in a romantic relationship right now? Yes, I'm dating the beautiful Rachel. We have a very great relationship. I enjoy spending time with her. Um, and we're very good for each other, I hope. And I have a good time with her. I have a van, want to start a van moving service called Men with a Van, with Men with Venn diagram. Underachieving en route to doing what you want. I quit my 9 to 5 so I can work 24/7. Don't get into crypto and NFTs. Hot take plant-based will be the fat-free, sugar-free folly of the 2020s. I mean, I think sugar-free isn't a folly. I think sugar-free is good for you. I think that in college I was very depressed and sad because I didn't know my future, and I was like, well, I'm bad at school, so I must be a bad person. I must not be as talented and worthwhile to society as my friend Lakmal. But the thing is that it's very inconsequential, and um, school is just a setup to becoming a docile member of society. And if you love the society that you're in, then please contribute to it. But if you think that there are a lot of flaws with it, then just doing school is not very healthy or advisable. Um, what kind of music do you listen to at Hanscom? I like Nickel Creek. Um, I like Blink 182. I like others. Is Rachel the one filling your head with ideas of America being responsible for third world countries existing? No, I'm more of a communist than she is. She isn't a communist, unfortunately. I mean, European colonialism obviously wasn't very good. Um, what are your thoughts on acid compared to shrooms? I feel like shrooms is better. I feel like acid is it hits stronger and it's scarier and you don't really know where it's gonna go. Um, well, I met like fat free was all the rage in the 90s, but it ultimately became was awful for people because most companies just supplemented with tons of sugar. Oh yeah, everyone was trying to be fat free. That's so unhealthy. Um, oh my God, why is it so tiny? I'm gonna download it. I don't want to download it. Yeah, I mean, I hope that we can make food really, really dope in the future. Um, I think that it's unhealthy to be eating unhealthy food, and it's healthy to be eating healthy food, and we should be eating more healthy food, and we don't eat enough healthy food. And there's not enough incentive to eat healthy food because everything is about profit, and it's profitable to sell you as much shit as possible. And it's not profitable in the short term to feed you healthy food, and everything in this society is about short-term profits. Hans, I'm getting munchies. What should I make? Chopped cheese or nacho? I would get some chicken, some chicken quarters. Um, how is it staying motivated with all your success? I mean, I I hope I'm motivated. It's hard to tell if I'm motivated or not. I try to write new jokes. I wrote 2,000 words today. I'm podcasting today. I used to do a lot more shows and stuff, but whatever. I used to do a lot more mics. I enjoy um doing comedy for people that actually want to hear comedy now. I enjoy that there is a lack of negativity in my life from open mics. I think that just because you're successful and happy and satiated doesn't mean that you get lazy and you get tired and you don't work as hard. I think that's just what happens when you torture people in poverty and then they finally get success and then they don't feel an obligation to the society that tortured them and that only showed them approval at this certain point in their life. But I was never really suffering under poverty. I was just visiting poverty as a tourist. And I think that I think it's just I, I'm not motivated by just trying to survive. I'm not motivated by just trying to be have a huge following or anything. Although that would be nice if I had a huge following. I'm motivated by like trying to create some art and some fucking shit that will last, like a Mitch Hedberg album or like a Brian Regan album. I am motivated by that kind of shit. I want amazing albums that people can listen to and that I can impact people through and show people my perspective and be like, hey, this was me. This is my meat body. This is my perspective, a human on earth. This is how I saw the world, and I want to um, impart that upon the world and have them do what with it what they will. Hopefully, a lot of people find something helpful in it, and I tried my best to do stuff that will help people or like have an impact and stuff. But yeah, I mean, my goal was never just to have a room in a house on the first floor and you know, live in a drive a van around and you know, it's just like I this is a good step towards where I want to go, but it's not where I want to be at for a long time or what I want to be known for. This is a positive step in that direction, and I still haven't achieved it. And I don't feel like I have achieved what I wanted to achieve. And this is a very great motivation, and it happened really quickly, and it's amazing. I mean, I've been doing it 9 years, but as when it started happening, it happened really quickly, and I think this is an amazing opportunity. Um, and I just don't want to fuck it up. That's my main thing is like I have this foothold. I don't want to let it go or fuck it up in any way and just keep it going. So glad you're proud to accept super chats. Carry on. When are we going to see you on Jerry? Hell yeah, Hans, just don't die like Mitch. We need our tour choice. I bet his parents were supportive of him doing comedy. Yeah, they let me live with them for 5 years. For 5 years, I wasn't working. I was just living with my parents, going to open mics every night. and that really helped. And not a lot of people can do that, and I try to use that to my advantage. I know that I'm super privileged, and that not everyone gets to do that, but someone has to. We can't all be poor. Someone has to be the rich trust fund child. And it turns out it's me, and maybe in the next life it'll be you. But I mean, I don't think that I'm better than poor people. I just think that poor people need to get their shit together. No, I don't know. Like I had this advantage where my parents let me live with them, and I also have a lack of shame or a lack of morality or the society's morality or whatever their mores are. I don't really care if it looks stupid to live with your parents for a long time. So, yeah, I mean, I uh, I used the advantages that I had and the love of my parents. I monetized that and extracted the resource that was their love and turned it into a free room and board, and used that to get good at comedy and all that. And like, yeah, I mean it's fun. It happened. I think it's a good thing to have people be living in relative luxury. Like we don't need everyone to be poor and starving. That's just a quirk of the society that we live in, and that's not the only way to create art. And we should learn how to create art in relative wealth, because if we don't, then we are doomed as a species. Uh, we can't all be poor. Communism, hold my beer. Yes, communism is a poverty cult. We have one toothbrush that we all share. That's the goal of communism, is to have everyone be poor, and that's not just a result of economic warfare by the largest superpower in the world attacking you. Can you move yourself to the side across the backdrop a few times? That's exactly what I did. Why? What? Um, yep, we need more supportive parents. Thank you for being a friend. Hans, you're a comic in Georgia Tech history. Did you know that Jeff Foxworthy used to go to Georgia Tech? He lived in the East Campus during freshman year. Did not graduate. He dropped out of freshman year, is my recollection. Um, and he used to live on the east side of campus, and I used to live on the west side. So I mean, I did live in a van for 4 years, so maybe that cancels out my parents letting me stay in their house for 5. I experienced some abject poverty just as a tourist. It wasn't real, it was just fake poverty. But it was still poverty nonetheless, so I experienced some lows. But how much do you calculate that into the equation of are you rich, yuppie, trust fund child? Um, because 4 years living in a van does not cancel out 25 years living in a suburban community in um, Seattle, the suburbs of Seattle. How long did you live in a van and what was your setup like? 4 years, and there's a video online if you want to look it up. What is your favorite one-liner? My favorite one-liner is probably Mitch Hedberg. Uh, Mitch Hedberg's one-liner was, I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too. I lived in a communist country for 13 years. It's not as good as it sounds either. You'd be in jail for several years for doing stand-up about certain topics. Yeah, that seems like the result of America waging economic warfare on you. And so you need to keep all your ducks in a row. Look how many rights we gave up after a couple people in a cave flew a plane into our buildings. Now imagine if that person in a cave was the largest superpower in the world, leaning on you economically for 50, 60 years, and let's see how many rights we give up. Um, I think that a lot of things about communism is very misconstrued, and that the reason why it keeps popping up is because there are a lot of tenets in it that we need to adopt, and we refuse to because we're scared of the word, and because we are secretly supporting the billionaires that brainwashed us into preserving their wealth. over us. Drugs are always in the push-up position. Did you ever do drugs more than when you lived in the van? No, I probably did drugs more in the van. Do you think political correctness affects today's comedians and material? Yes. A lot of people are pro, a lot of people are against. I think a lot more people are against political correctness, and that informs their comedy, but that's always been a thing from the 90s. I loved living in a van. 4 years didn't really seem that bad to me. I could have done it longer. I enjoyed it. I couldn't do it in Texas for 4 years, but maybe in a more moderate climate like Seattle, or I would migrate. So New York was great. It got hot and cold, but yeah, I mean, I loved living in a van. I could do it a lot longer, and I do love living in a house. It is way more preferable. It is not preferable to live in a van, but it's fun. There's other things that you get. But yeah, it's like a fun thing to do to be like, do I really need to live in a house to value myself and respect myself? Do I need to be respected by other people uh, to be um, to have confidence in myself, or can I just fucking uh, you know, um, can I just respect myself for being a person? I don't need to, like, very few people in history have had an electrical outlet and air conditioning and heating and all that, and they still consider themselves people. So most people did not have the modern luxuries that we have. So I don't need to have that to be to have worth in myself. I value the things in my life, like my intellectual abilities, or the ability to be intellectual or think and, like, have fun and be creative and laugh and eat and drink, more than I enjoy my ability to live a comfortable life and buy myself air conditioning. Um, that's not really an important thing to me. I know for a lot of people, if they don't have the minimum of modern conveniences, they don't feel worthy and that they don't feel like they're part of society. But I never really wanted to be a part of this society, anyways. I wanted to laugh at the society and make fun of things that I don't like about it and maybe create a better society. But I don't really want to be a part of this. I mean, I am a part of this society, but I don't want to be like fully in support of everything that happens in this society. And I think there's a lot of things we can improve. And I don't really need to be a part of this because I don't really like a lot of what happens in the society. So I think it was good for me to be away from that and be like, oh, I'm not really a part of this, even though I was. A lot of people would say that I wasn't. K-pop is used to troll communists. I'm having trouble dealing with my adult ADHD issue and depression with my wife, and it's going to drive a wedge in our marriage and our family. Any advice? Wow, that's very honest. My adult ADHD issues and depression. I would say that that is a bunch of buzzwords. I would like to know what the real issue is. What are you really thinking? Are you sad that you can only fuck one person for the rest of your life? Even if your wife is beautiful, that's still you get tired of whatever you have. So maybe that might be depressing, but I think that there's a deeper issue at hand, either money or sex, and I think that the ADHD and depression, maybe you don't have a very fulfilling job, and maybe you don't feel like you're useful in the world, and that your true contribution to the world is being unheard. Um, and I would love to maybe see you fuck a bunch of people and have a new job and have a new hobby and new friends. And I think that would cure a lot of the adult ADHD and depression. Obviously, not if it's at the without your wife's consent. I wouldn't want to have you fuck a bunch of other people, but maybe if you want to preserve your relationship with your wife, you probably shouldn't be fucking other people too much. But yeah, I mean, as long as she's cool with it, or maybe whatever. Oh, you have a family. Yeah, I mean, I think fucking a lot of other people is very helpful. And it brings you closer to humanity and gets you to be nice to people that aren't your wife. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to fuck other people when you have a wife and a family. So I guess I would just suggest having a new job and maybe uh, trying to convince your wife to let you fuck other people. I think that would cure your adult ADHD and depression is fucking a bunch of hot human beings. Um, Ever been to Alaska? Hans is no man, do not try meth, bro. I tried meth. You sound like an existential dumpling. You sound like an existential dumpling. Okay. Do you smoke weed? If so, how much? And if not, why? I smoke weed. I smoked weed today. It hurts my respiratory tract, so I try not to smoke too much. I'm coming to Dallas soon. Check my calendar, Linktree. Um, I'll try those things. Good advice. Money well spent. You spent money? I didn't get that shit. That's why all the top toxic commie, anime, furry, avatar, K-pop stans on Twitter are so hilarious because K-pop is and always will be a capitalist creation. I don't know if you really want K-pop to be your shining example of capitalism. It's not known for its artistic merit or its ability to withstand uh, a second glance. It's pretty shallow bullshit music, which is great, you know. Teenagers exist. They need an art form they can easily grasp onto, but it's really not there's really isn't a future in K-pop, I don't think. In shitty music. Hey, why don't we try to make music as mass produced as possible? You know, music, the thing that expresses a human soul, can we crank it out like a factory? Is Tim Dillon one of your favorite comedians working right now? Yeah. Who is one comedian you are looking forward to meeting? Louis Siskalik, John Mulaney. I already met Marcus Normando. I already met Shonimus Gilosimus. I met a bunch of Ron Whites. I met so many great comedians. Amazing. I love just sitting there and being silent and being like, look how respectful I can be. Oh, wow, you're a very funny comedian. Look at me respecting you right now. I respect you so much. Please do not turn your gaze to me in anger. I am but a wee little boy. I cannot defend myself against your attacks. You are the superior. I am the inferior. Please do upon me what you will. I am your servant. I will fight and die for you, my liege. Did you ACC live in your van without parents' money? Did you live in your van without parents' money? I got a loan from a family friend, but I paid it back. Parents' money. Yeah. I didn't really use my parents' money that much after I left it at the age of 28. After 28, I stopped using my parents' money like a 19-year-old. I fully grew up after I've used my parents' money for 28 years. The rest of the 5 years, I haven't used it that much. Have you ever met Doug Rob? Where's the new girlfriend tonight? Probably in her house. I think she said she was editing. Have you done DMT with Joe Rogan? Nope, I did alone. If you met Louis and he asked if it was okay for him to whip it out, would you let him? I'd probably depend on the situation. Um, nope, don't think I would. I'd be like, no, I don't think so. Sorry, man. And then we could have a talk about it. Like, wasn't that funny when I did that? Um, do you think that the general state of the world is a good one? What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Open image. So the world is a very beautiful place. As you can see, the Sahara is empty as fuck. There's a little wrinkle. Europe is very full. Look at all the borders. The board on the water is where it's all fucking lit up like crazy. It's like a little outline of the border and lights. And then here you can see, I think that's Moscow, and how all the fucking webs go to it, and the city centers. Cities are so beautiful, and they are the human race coming together and making an awesome thing. Have you ever met Bill Burr? Nope, I have not met. Is your Kill Tony intro song under WK ready to die? Yes. Hey Hans Kim, what happened to the Ukrainian lady? I met my other girlfriend and sadly we had to break up. Hans, I don't like you wouldn't join BTS in a heartbeat if you had the chance. You think I would join what would I join BTS as? Like comedic relief? I'd be the goofy guy with the big head, rolling my head around, bobbing around like a bobblehead, and with all these beautiful, athletic, sexy little Asian boys dancing and prancing around, and I'm just lumbering around with my giant head, and all have tiny little heads. All right, so they're okay. I'll know. Um, yeah, I mean, I think that it's crazy how the world is so beautiful. All right, I should probably get off. But thank you guys for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed yourself, and I will see you next.